Hi everyone, this is a part 2 of a coin noodle that I did. I'm restricted to 28 minutes of video, so I couldn't get the last 4 5-cent error coins in that video, so I'm doing a second part to that, and I've had to redo the whole thing because I deleted it all as I was about to edit it. So I've just refilmed this whole thing again. Not to worry, it's all a learning experience. What we've got today is 4 Australian 5-cent pieces right here. Just turn over with the echidna on the back. And these are 4 error coins. Really nice little find this was. So I checked $120 of coins. There was $40 of 50s, $40 of 10s and $40 of 5-cent pieces, which was 1,280 coins all up. I kept 23 coins for $3.55. So anyhow, we'll get into what these 4 coins are. Okay, so it's a 2008 5-cent piece, and it has, well, they're not common, but you do find them. I've got about 15 in the last 10 months, and this one has the inner rim inside here. I'll do these all up close as well, but that inner rim on this coin has been caused by a transient collar error. So what it means was, when the coin was dropped in to be minted, it hasn't gone down right, and it's just caught the collar on the bevel edge. I would dare say it's just caught that as the die came down, and it had a real light grab, very light grab, just here between 4 and 5 o'clock, and as it grabbed it, it causes a double inner rim. It didn't complete its journey and stopped short of creating the complete rim. So the rim is on top, and the inside there, feel to the vertical edge, it didn't get there. On this one, it is a transient collar error. By that area there, I'll show it up close, but there isn't any reading on there at all. The reading going around the rest of it is there. So it never got into the collar that way. It was stopped. So and this all happens in a millionth of a second. Yeah, just the slightest of slights, and anything can happen. So this one being a transient error, just being grabbed just there very quickly. Not even enough to dent it down. There is a slight thinning, very slight, but not enough to bang it down. It just caught it a bit and just didn't mint it out. Also on this side, it's just slightly misaligned die, and the other side, the obverse side, they both have just the slightest misaligned die as well. The obverse side from this, as I've found with most of these 2008s, there's some ghosting or some little line where you'll see it's a tiny little bit of a double rim there, where it hasn't completed it this side too. But that happens on most of these 2008s. If you find it on one side, the other side will have some sort of ghosting around the edge where it just didn't quite mint on that side as well. So a very nice coin. I'll show that up close, and that reading that's missing, completely missing. And to note, on these 2008 5-cent pieces, I've got 15 roughly. I said when I went through them, I've got 2 that are transient collar error, just like this. But the others, when I went through them, they're a case of tilted dies and misaligned dies, where they're both together or individual. So when you check the 2008 inner rim 5-cent, check the edging. If all the reading is there, it is not a collar error. It's either a tilted die or a misaligned die, which is known as MAD, M-A-D, misaligned die, if you see the abbreviation. So do check them, but there's 3 different types of errors so far I found that can cause that double inner rim to one side or both sides at once. And the reading is missing from here to here, which I'll show on the edge here now. So you can see there that the reading is missing. And you can see around here the reading is there. So it didn't go in the colour just here, and that's where it's just nipped it. And I think you can just see a little bevel there. Just fractured, but it's just caught it, and it happens millionths of a second, so it's all over before you even know it's done. Lovely. So check those 2008s because they can be have double inner rim, and they can be caused from a few different things. So very nice. Which brings me on to this absolute stunning, beautiful error coin, 2019, double inner rim. There's no collar problems with this coin. The reading all the way around is perfect, which means that it sat in the collar perfectly. No collar problem. What's caused this one is a tilted die, and it's high at this end where you can see the field's nearly level with that rim, and this end it's down low. When you look at it on the side, you can see that the coin is angled. So what we've got is a tilted die, no collar problem at all, and we have some major die deterioration going on here. You can see all the radial lines, you can see flow lines, looks like all melted, flowy, and you can see all of it, the whole surface, and the design or the legend is all wonky and wrecked right at the edge. That's the die deterioration. The die is deteriorating big time, and the flow lines is a case of when they use the dies so much, and it seems the Mint is using these dies to their death, because 5-cent pieces I believe is nearly costing 5 cents, so they're probably getting the maximum out of every die they've got, and they're beating it to the end. And what they've done here is done exactly that, and we've got all plasma flow, whatever you want to call it, and design deterioration at the edge where it's all just wearing away. And the flow lines is from using it so much, as I was saying, from the die's been used so much and pounded so many times, it just builds up heat. The surface of the die starts to get, well, molten, if you want to call it that. It starts to flow, and that then leaves the impressions on that coin, and that's what was happening. The die was virtually melting on the surface, and it was causing all this deterioration of the design and a whole lot. Stunning looking coin, in top condition. That's minted basically, you know, central. It's really good. The reverse side doesn't have any flow lines. No flow lines at all. Clear as a bell. Has no problems at all, except, well, it has a slightest problem, and that's it's slightly misaligned. That's all. The die's just slightly misaligned on that side, but that's it for the reverse side. It's so slight. That's it. But on the obverse side, that is fantastic. That coin looks brilliant, and it's struck right central. And it's a tilted die has caused that. And all the rest of all the markings and the design and everything is die deterioration. Major die deterioration. So I'll show you a close up of that one too. Lovely, beautiful coin. And so this one, 2019 5 cent, beautiful, really stunning looking coin with that error on it. So yes, it's got the double inner rim there, and it's from a tilted die. So we have it at the IRB end, it's nearly level with the rim, and up this end it's down lower than the rim, angled down, and that's what's caused that doubling, the absolute major die deterioration, and caused all the flow lines and the legend detail there to just be right on the lip of where this didn't quite meet the proto rim and create a full correct rim. Show it a bit closer than that. So I'll start there, and you can see all the flow lines and all that rough surface, and that's the die surface is just flowing, and it's left all the marks on this. And that's the tilted end, so that's the high end up here at the IRB. Look at all that flow happening there. Jeez, it looks really good on the coin. The coin looks great. That double rim, beautiful. It's a beautiful coin, really nice, scarce, I'd say, pretty scarce. Okay, which brings us to the bottom two 2015. No SD. It's missing its SD. And this one is the progression right before it. Unbelievable. So just to set it off, first of all, this one is the progressive error of this one. No SD at all on here, missing. This one, the S is in half, it's worn down in half. And this is not die fill. This is die deterioration. Madly, major die deterioration. So this coin, the S, is in half. So with this one, well, I'll start on this one, the progressive one. So the S is half its height on here. And what we've got is all the cuds in the claws here and here. And we've got the spikes here and here, and I think here, but the spikes here have got metal on top, where it's not die fill, it's deterioration. The die's just wearing away and everything's becoming one. And so that one is before this one. And if you look on this one, the cuds on the paws and on the spikes are just, I had a look under it 20 times, they're just a bit more than this one, but the SD is completely gone. So from getting to this stage where there's no SD, it happened really quick, because nothing else is really changed. Everything is basically, you know, this one is probably 99% of what this one is. That's how close they are, all the errors, the cut errors and the spikes. And so it happened very quickly. But that die was gone. It was shot. And they should have changed it way before it even got to this stage. But they didn't. As I said, it looks like they're using these dies till the very end. And they did with this one. This die was plastered. It was gone. It's not die fill, die deterioration. Yeah, so that's what die deterioration does. Can mimic die fill, but it's not. It's not die fill. It didn't keep getting filled up with grease or oil till it was gone. That die, that S is in half, and that die was wearing every time it was getting back. It was just wearing flatter and flatter and flatter. And this SD here looks like a round circle, and it looks like a squashed potato or something, you know, like they stood on it, a bit of a crater. And so yeah, it should have been replaced way before this one, and from that stage to that stage, very quick. And that is really amazing that I can have those two coins together to show what came first, what happened beforehand. And it was the cuds on the claws, all that started deteriorating with the spikes, and then the SD, bang, gone. Do close-ups of them, brilliant 4 coins them. This is the first one with the progressive error, the start, well, it's not the start, there'll be ones before this. Don't know if there'll be many after it, between this and the other one, but there'll definitely be ones before this. But the S is in half, and the paws to the left have cuds in between. There are the claws there. There's some error going on with just here. It doesn't show it here, but there is, just in between the 5 bowl there, and the claws and the spikes at the 9 o'clock mark. And so there are all the cuds in between, and all here on the spikes. And there is some damage going on just here too. And then we go across to this one that came after it, and there's no SD, there's the blob, and we can see over here the cuds aren't then hardly any different. A little bit more going on here, and the pores just here and here, just a fraction difference, that's all. And with a little bit starting to go on around here, so very nice. I mean, that's a proper missing SD, and not from dye fill. This is a major dye deterioration. It's just deteriorating. It should have finished when it was on this coin. It shouldn't even got to there, but it got past that and got to that stage. And yep, that's dye deterioration. It's even got some tiny fragments of an inner ghost written there. But yeah, pretty good errors. Really good, and really good getting the two of them to show a nice progression to that error there, which after that I don't think you're going to find anything worse. I think that's it. They would have changed it if it didn't explode already. So yes, very nice, lovely, good score. Okay, well that was a really good find. If you watched the other video, the part 1, you'll see it was really good finds for $3.55. Man, that 2019, that's worth quite a bit. The 2015 no SD, those two as a pair, they're worth a bit. The 2008, a couple of bucks. But those other three, yeah, I'll have to check them out, see what they're going for. But I'm sure they're going for good money. So yes, I had a good haul out of those coins. 23 for $3.55. Yeah, well worth looking in. 5-cent pieces, 10 cents. Well, those two just alone, well worth looking. You can find heaps of coins in there that you can, you know, if you were selling them and you found tons of them, you could have a steady turnover. It mightn't be mega dollars each time, just a couple of bucks, but you know, turn over 100 and it's $2 each. You profit, there's 200 bucks. Anyway, thanks for watching again. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and until my next video, bye bye.